speaking of summer travel, oftentimes you'll be going out and about and you'll be going to some areas that are very hot. Maybe you are in a rental car. You're out of your normal routine. And just last month, Corona Police Department carried out one of the harrowing rescues of an infant from a hot car in California. Now, we're well into the summer and the risk for child heat-related deaths in cars increases. Sergeant Robert Montanez with the Corona Police Department joined Fox Weather Live just last week to speak about this rescue. Take a listen.
The person visiting the post office noticed the child in the back seat of the car, looked around, didn't see any parents, didn't see anybody else in the car, noticed that the windows were all rolled up, and decided that the baby looked like he was in distress. So she called 911, and fortunately our officers were able to get there quick enough, were able to immediately agree and discern that the child was in distress, and took immediate action to break that window and remove the baby from the car.
And it doesn't take long. Cars can heat up 20 degrees in just 10 minutes alone. And for many parents, all it takes is just one mistake that can quickly turn into a tragedy. For more on the hot car deaths, safety, and prevention, I'm joined now by Sergeant Robert Montanez. And Sergeant, we just showed that rescue, of course, that you carried out with your team last month. Can you kind of give some advice to people watching on what to do if they find themselves in a scenario where they see a child that's unattended in a car?
Well, obviously, the first step is good on them for noticing, right? Paying attention to your surroundings is very important for a variety of reasons. Saving the life of a child isn't one of the normal ones, but that's what transpired here. So if they see something like that, my recommendation will be to take a quick look around. Do you see anybody in the car? Do you see anybody hanging around? If you don't, you could yell for help, yell for the parents. If there's no response, and if you think that baby is in distress, then it might be up to you to take action.
And Sergeant, I want to ask you about that aspect, because I think for many that are good Samaritans and they want to help this child, they're struggling at that moment, because does that mean, do I break the window? Is there specific training that your team does to handle calls to respond? And is there something that the public should know about hopefully opening up the car safely to help kids?
So unless you have the tools to pop open the door like something a locksmith would use, really the only option we have that can act with any sort of immediacy is to break the window. And that's why the vast majority of these incidents involve us breaking a window.
And when we think about this, of course, it's most prevalent this time of year when it's extremely hot, but there is that myth that it can only happen during warm weather. It can happen even when it's mild. You think about California, where you are at, there's many spots that are still in the 60s and 70s, especially with gloomy skies. Can you talk about some of the signs of heat stroke that you should be looking out for?
Sure, it's a little more difficult with an infant because altered mental states is one of the key things to look for. Obviously, that's difficult to discern with a child of that age. Rapid pulse, rapid breathing, shallow breathing, overly red skin, and excessive sweating is the most common signs and symptoms of heat stroke.
And if we can pull up, sadly, this happens all too often, and we have the number of deaths. It's been 13. And the different states that have been involved, of course, it looks like mostly into the southern tier. And so, Sergeant, I want to ask you about, for parents, I know this is never something that, obviously is intentional. You're in a routine. Maybe it slips your mind, but unfortunately, mistakes happen. What are tips that overall can be done to prevent something like this?
I mean, the easiest tip I can offer is that you just have to pay attention, right? Like most of these people would not forget their cell phone in a car, and yet we're forgetting our infants in a car. It's very important that before you exit the vehicle, you make a habit and a routine of looking at that back seat. Not that a child isn't important and not that you shouldn't notice that, but maybe take something that you know you won't forget or you know you need to leave the car and put that in the back seat with your child just so it forces that one look. Fortunately, some cars are coming equipped nowadays with reminders, which is great, but it's really incumbent upon the parent to make sure that they check that back seat every single time.
Yeah, and it's tough if you're depending on the car because, Sergeant, we've been talking about it's the summer travel season. If you're renting a car, it's not guaranteed. That rental has that technology, but you can't guarantee if I put my cell phone every time in the back car, wherever you're traveling, you're going to keep doing that as well. Important update, and thank you so much for what your team has been doing. Of course, Sergeant Robert Montanez with the Corona Police Department, thank you again for joining us here on Fox Weather.
You're welcome.
And for more information on hot car deaths and injuries, check out FoxWeather.com, 5 children have died in hot cars over the past 8 days as advocates are joining families to demand more action. You can find updates and more information on this crucial topic, again, on FoxWeather.com. Let's